Hello and happy Halloween. We've got our spider webs, we've got our crows. My husband recently bought this little guy at the thrift store.
And I thought it was kind of cold.
So today we're gonna make him a sweater. In theory, we would want to probably make a gauge little swatch for this so we could see the size, a mini pattern essentially, but I feel like too chaotic for that. I don't want to. And since it's a pattern
For a $2 rat skeleton.
I think we're okay. So instead, I just randomly cast on like 20 stitches and have started knitting this. And we're gonna see if it works out. So yeah, I basically just made that square until I thought it was a good enough length, and I just made stripes how I saw fit. It really was just the chaos method, and later on I'll tell you kind of the problems that arose from my chaos, but at this point in time, I was just having a good time and making a little square. Okay, here's the little back for our little friend. Usually when I'm making the back of a sweater, I would cast off this little section to make shoulders, so it can go over your shoulders, but it doesn't really have shoulders.
So I skipped that step.
And just made a square. I was thinking originally a sweater, but I don't think a sweater would fit over his head. I guess that's what shoulders are for. Huh. We're gonna stick with a cardigan. So let's get to the sleeves. So in continuation of the chaos method, we got to the sleeves. Now, to decide how much to cast on for the sleeve, I used the square I had already made and wrapped it around his arm to see if that would fit. I decided that half of the length of the sleeve would be perfect because when I wrapped it around it fit. Don't ask me how I landed on the conclusion that halving it would somehow work. The sleeves were definitely a tight fit around his little claws, and I wish in hindsight that I had made them bigger, but it did work out in the end. So I just cast those on and did stripes like I had on the other side. This was my first time doing color work. It was honestly a really fun way to get into color work and to learn that method. But this BB will tell you more about the sleeves and the chaos that was going on while I was making them. I'm working on these sleeves, and I am almost done with this. I just put it against his little body, and wow, this is not carrying. Sorry. Anyways, and realized that like this is roughly the right length. I am not doing anything that you normally do for when you knit a sweater. For example, when you knit sleeves for a human body, you need to make them bigger at the bicep and smaller at your wrist. This rat man, I just made them all one size. It's just a bunch of squares. Hi, do you think this is long enough for this?
That's great. I think that's perfect.
I was thinking like... rat
You
man.
definitely want his little fingies to stick out.
Well, he's all bent.
Yeah, that's perfect, dude.
There you go. And cast off and do another one. We're gonna cast off and do another one. So I did. I spent the rest of the evening making another sleeve piece, watching a hilarious video provided by my husband.
This is what it looks like when a baby needs to get an x-ray.
Can you take me out now?
I don't mean to laugh.
This is like the best picture. I feel like we should like put her.
And then moving on to the two front pieces for the cardigan. So I just made these half the width of the back piece. So I cast on 20 for the back, I cast on 10 for each of these. And I just did stripes. I tried to make them sort of the same length as the back. And then once I had all those pieces done, it was time to sew them together. So I started to get sewing. I think I got the two front pieces connected to the back, but didn't get the sleeves or anything. Or maybe I did. I think maybe I did get the sleeves connected, but I just didn't do that last final seam down the side. This is the fit check. So as I mentioned before, this was the last seam I needed to do. So the next morning I sewed down that last seam and then weaved in all the edges, and then it was time to block because it really needed some blocking. Okay, it's all sewn together. I think it looks great, and honestly, I tried to shove it on this rat and it did not go super well. So I'm gonna go ahead and block this, which is gonna be a hilarious process. Usually I film my whole sink, but I think we can manage like a spooky mug. Yep. like it? Oh no. As I mentioned before, getting this sweater even after it was blocked on this guy was pretty difficult because, like I said it that day, his little rat hands have never put on a sweater before. Yep. So I did end up calling in backup, which was my husband, and he eventually, using some sort of like geometry, I don't even know, got it to fit. And here is the final reveal. Look at this little guy. He looks so dapper. And this was such a fun and ridiculous project that I really had a lot of fun doing. Here's our little friend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was so fun and so random and just, it was great. It was a great little project. I had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to see more of whatever this was. And I will see you next time you're feeling crafty. Bye.